Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 3. Now, this scene is pretty short, but I'm going to give you some extra work here in a moment. It starts off with Friar Lawrence. He's waking up early. A friar is kind of like a monk in a Catholic church of a certain from a certain like group of monks. They call them friars. And so he's a priest, but he's up in the morning and he's just working in nature, like working in his garden. He really enjoys looking at nature, and he's thinking about all different things, but he's looking at some plants, and there's like one plant that's really good for your health, another plant that could be poisonous, and he's kind of gathering these plants and, getting them ready for different things, medicines, whatever. And so he's out there just enjoying himself, grabbing plants and thinking. Then he hears this call from Romeo. Romeo comes up to him and just kind of says, "Oh, Father, I'm so happy. I want to get married." And Friar Lawrence is kind of looking at him. He's like, it's really early right now. So either something's going wrong and you came to me because you're having some problem, or you haven't slept yet. And he's looking at Romeo, and he guesses right. And Romeo's like, "Yeah, you're right. I haven't slept." And he's like, "Oh, have you been with Rosalind?" And Romeo's like, No, I don't even remember Rosalind's name anymore. It's a different reason." And Friar Lawrence is kind of like, "What? You don't even remember who Rosalind is anymore? Like, you were just about ready to kill yourself out of love for her." And Romeo kind of tries to defend himself, and then Friar Lawrence starts to talk about like, "Oh, young love, it's so fast, and it's not true or real." And he kind of lectures Romeo a little bit, but then Romeo tells him, "I want to marry Juliet of the house Capulet, and I want to marry our houses together and make enemies peace." And Friar Lawrence is like, "Ooh, that's a pretty hard plan to resist." And so, he kind of wants to hear more information. They start walking. He's like, I like this idea, because Friar Lawrence would really like to see peace come between these two houses. And he doesn't agree yet, but he says, "Tell me more, Romeo." And they kind of go off and they share more. The reason I didn't decide to do scene 4 on this video also is because scene 4 is pretty long and there's a lot of really good stuff in it. And so rather than trying to cram those two scenes together, I think it's better to take it slow. And so what I'd really encourage you is, as you're reading through this, maybe once or twice, again, feel free to listen to the audio. Listen to the audio and read it. Then read it once yourself without the audio, maybe reading out loud, and looking at these expressions and vocabulary words that we don't use anymore. But to understand the story, you will really need to research on and look and figure out what those expressions are. So usually I ask you to do 2, but because this is such a short scene, I'm going to bet that you have time to probably do about 3, maybe even 4. So because it's just one scene, just take the extra time to dive into it a little bit more deeply, especially that first part where Friar Lawrence is just talking about nature and everything. Like, oh my goodness, what is he saying? Like, there are so many different expressions and words just in that piece that you could just spend researching on. So take the extra time to reread through it and to look at some of those words. Discussion question I have for you is, if you were Friar Lawrence or a priest, whatever, would you help Romeo get married? Because you gotta kind of think, Friar Lawrence already knows Romeo. He already knows all of the pain that Romeo's been going through because of Rosalind. And now Romeo comes up to you and is like, "Hey, I'm in love. I want to get married tonight." Okay, what would you do? Would you help him out? And of course, right, the big piece is helping Romeo and Juliet get married would bring two warring houses together in peace, potentially. I mean, there's a lot of different things to weigh out and think here, but what would you do? Of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today, but thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.